Okay, we're going to continue our series on top 10 songs. We got Mike and Mark here. Today we're going to feature Genesis. Um, and I believe the era we're going for here is 1970 to 77. Isn't that what we agreed to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so nothing after Wind and Wuthering. And we can do, and then there were three, and Duke and all them later. Um, Okay, we're going to have Mike start things off, as this has been a favorite of his for forever, and he can lead us off.
Favorite of mine since 1977.
There you go.
And then when did you kind of get into them?
Um, it got it got big with me. I mean, I knew the basic stuff, and then I got more into the way more into it in '98.
Yeah,
You had said I had told you I wanted to check out some more Gabriel because I only knew a few songs, and then I got into the Gabriel thing, and so that was what 22 years ago. So I missed a lot of years of just knowing only radio songs, and there's much more to it than that, obviously. So
but it's like everybody I've ever tried to turn on to Genesis has fallen in love with them. The 4 or 5 people I've done that, and just totally fallen in love with them. Um,
yeah, if you just give them a chance, I mean, they just bring it all together. It's musicianship, singing, just beautiful compositions, um, just you know, and they're adventurous. They're not afraid to you know
yeah, they got
go
it.
into other territories and just throw everything together and you know.
They got everything from ballads to total power
Mm-hmm.
in their music, and they can go from one to the other in a split second. It's an amazing band.
Yep.
I've just absolutely loved them, and throughout the years they've been my favorite or in my top three, and I guess they always will be. They're just love them to death, just passionate about them. So I guess I'll start off with my top 10.
Okay.
And you know what I love to do is announce the albums with them.
All
So
right.
from their third album, Nursery Crime, Return of the Giant Hogweed, and Fountain of Salmacis, um, two incredibly powerful songs. Um, and then their next album, Foxtrot, Watcher of the Skies, and Supper's Ready. Oop, almost forgot. Can Utility and the Coastliners as well. Um, just incredible songs. From the next album, Selling Them by the Pound, Firth of Fifth. And I think at that point you pretty much can't argue with those six being in the top 10. Um, and then skipping over The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and going to Collins' first album, Trick of the Tail. Um, these are really kind of more personal to me as far as favorites, which, first of all, Madman Moon, which I remember when I first got into them in 77, right after this album came out. I wasn't a big fan of it. I just kind of thought, it's kind of a mellow song, no big deal. But over the years, I've just grown to just be absolutely in love with this song. Ripples, another sort of ballad song. I've been in love with that one since the very beginning. And another one in the same mode, Entangled. I guess those are the three kind of ballady songs on that album, but all three of them are just brilliant. And then lastly, from Wind and Wuthering, a song I've loved since day one, 11th Earl of Mar. Then on the honorable mentions, I'm going to stay with Wind and Wuthering. One for the Vine, incredible song as well. Blood on the Rooftops, a great song from Hackett. And Afterglow, the finisher on the album. And then going backwards, or back to the early albums, from Nursery Crime, The Musical Box, and Seven Stones. Well, the Seven Stones is kind of probably underrated. Probably you don't hear much about it, but Mellotron on that song is incredible. Selling England by the Pound. I've got Dancing with the Moonlit Night, and Cinema Show is just incredible song. That's my top 18. Just nothing but wonderful songs. I can't say enough about those.
Yeah, you've got it. You've pretty much got it covered. We're going to be pretty identical, except for the fact that I didn't do as many honorable mentions. So it's going to be very obvious what I left off. And I don't know why. I mean, you could swap them out, add them, whatever you want to do. But I'll start out with my top 10. We'll do the Gabriel songs first, no order, but and then we'll go into the Collins era. Supper's Ready, which was the first epic that you turned me on to. In addition, one of the first ones I remember that I left off the list, I don't know why, I could have had more, but I didn't put it in the honorable mentions, is where I was going to put it, but Can Utility, it didn't make it. Watcher of the Skies, and The Musical Box, which is always a big favorite, a big live favorite. Dancing with the Moonlit Night, another big live favorite. Always love that. And the one that really drives the early part of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is Fly on a Windshield, which is got a real powerful intro that outstanding stuff. And for the Fifth, with the beautiful intro and of course the great Hackett guitar solo that all fans of the band absolutely love. So now we go to the Collins songs. From Trick of the Tail, I got Entangled. From Wind and Wuthering, Trick of the Tail, also Dance on a Volcano. And from Wind and Wuthering, I got One for the Vine, beautiful song. And Mike's all-time favorite, the 11th Earl of Mar, which is an incredible start to the Wind and Wuthering album. My honorable mentions, I only got 5. I could have had more. I left another big favorite of mine that I don't know why I didn't put it on there, but I guess at some point we were limiting honorable mentions. so things had to go. Somebody that's got so many great songs. So anyway, I left off Seven Stones. I left off Can Utility. Should they be on there? Yes. But at some point, for some reason, maybe I thought it was 5. Honorable mentions. We got 3 of the Collins songs. Madman Moon and Ripples from Trick of the Tail. And then the incredible Blood on the Rooftops. The Hackett song from Wind and Wuthering. And from the Gabriel era, we have the Giant Hogweed and the beautiful Lamia from The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway was hard. Since it's a bulk piece, I'm thinking in the Cage. I'm thinking Lammy. I'm thinking Fly on a Windshield, and it's like, and there's other ones too, and it's like it's hard to pull things out of a chunk.
Yeah, I found that with all the bands that have concept kind of albums. It like the 2 latest Neil Morse albums. It was difficult. I had to listen and to pick a song out of that. Subterranean is another one. It seems like everything flows together, and it's difficult to just pull songs out. I know exactly what you're saying, but I did it, but it just feels like the whole album just flows together.
Yeah, but an incredible band. It was fun to do because there's just so much to pick from. You could really you can listen to them all day long and never get tired of it. So
to me, their Genesis songs are just so magical, and even 43 years later, I can listen to this and I can never get tired of it, and that to me tells me a lot, because there's a lot of any of those radio songs today. There's a couple hundred of them that you never want to hear again in your life, but to me, when there's something that I can listen to and still just get goosebumps listening to it 43 years later, means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So,
and most fans, I shouldn't say fans, most people that listen to like rock music or what they call classic rock, I hate that term, but you could probably argue that most of them, I don't even know if they know Firth of Fifth. I think you're stretching it with Firth of Fifth, but maybe the title track to Trick of the Tail, maybe they know that, and maybe they know, what's the other single song from, Trick of the Tail, and the one from Wind and Wuthering, Special Way.
You're on Special Way.
Yeah. They might like semi-recognize that, but other than that, they didn't really hit it till the next album or the album after that, so.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's our coverage of Genesis. We had a blast doing it, and we are going to move on to the next one. Thanks for watching, and leave us a comment, like, subscribe, and we will move on from here. Thanks again.